Happy Friday, everybody! I am already double fisting my drinks. Got my cocktail here. Got my coffee here. You guys, we're getting into the latest celebrity news for you today on this fabulous Friday. But first, make sure you subscribe, tap the bell for notifications, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment below, share this video with your friends. And now I am Devyn Howard. And to my right here is the lovely... Introduce yourself.
I am Courtney Revolution, and you can follow Devyn on her social media at Devyn Howard, and you can find me on social media as well as my individual YouTube channel at Courtney Revolution. How are you on this fine, fierce, and foxy Friday, Devyn Howard? How are you?
I'm doing really well. I feel glad that it's the weekend. I can finally finish unpacking everything, getting nice and settled into my new place, and I'm feeling like, you know, ready to have a nice, relaxing weekend. How about you, Courtney? How are you?
I'm doing good. Can I tell you something that I'm looking forward to doing, Devyn? I literally, first of all, just for clarity, my mom is like my best friend. I literally just spoke to her maybe a couple days ago, but I'm excited for the weekend so that I can. I'm not gonna lie. I just feel like when there's like so much going on in the world, for me personally, it just helps to sort of like, I guess for the T tribe, my mom is for me. So like when I feel like the world is being overwhelming, I know I can give her a call, and sure, we can have serious conversation, but I know that by the end of the call, she's made me laugh, she's given me advice, like she's just given me the energy that I need to sort of like go on and be ready for you guys on Monday. So I am excited to do that this weekend, to say, hi, Mom.
I love that. Okay, so me and my mom and I are both very close as well. She's my best friend, and I know that Madison was very close with her mom too, or is very close with her mom too. For the T tribe here, we are all about our moms. So if our moms are watching, we love you. Thank you so much for tuning in and for always brightening our days when we're feeling. My mom listens to like me complaining about everything. She's just there as my sounding board when I'm like, oh, this happened and I'm so frustrated. So I get that. She always makes me feel better too. So that's cute. I'm glad that you're going to be chit-chatting with your mom and like relieving some stress or tension from the week that we've just had, because it's no doubt been a tough one. That's for sure.
Yes, it has.
Night Runner really quickly gave us $2. Good morning from Tillamook.
Hey, shout out to Night Runner. We see you and we love you. You've been around for a minute, Night Runner. The legend from Tillamook. So we're sending you all our love. I was trying not to burst out into a Whitney Houston moment. I don't know if y'all could just tell, but shout out to Night Runner.
Can I just say, I so support a Whitney Houston moment. So Courtney, if you want to take it away and do that, we are here for it.
Thank you guys so much. Rest in peace to the legend, Whitney Houston. She has endless hits.
She really does. T-Tribe, let us know what you plan on doing this weekend. If you have any good activities planned, if you're going to be chit-chatting with your mom too, we want to hear about it. Also, before we dive into all of these... Oh, Mika! Okay, we got to do the Mika dance. So I'm going to count you in, Courtney. Here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Miss Mika, nice to meet ya. Miss Mika, she on fleeka. Miss Mika, she loves to tea ya, and we see ya. Miss Mika, go Mika, go Mika, go Mika. Hello and happy Friday to the always iconic and forever legendary Mika. It's always nice to meet ya. Everyone in the chat, please show Mika Meeks some love, because without her, we would not have the Mika song Monday through Friday.
Yes, thank you so much, Mika. Always can rely on you to show up. I love the regulars. I love the people that tune in every single day. I see a lot of your names that I recognize. Obviously, we have Karina and Wesley and Mika. We've got Night Runner, who is always tuning in. Who else am I missing?
Tamara. Shout out Tamara. Tamara's always here. Mally, All Once. If All Once is here, I know I always see All Once. Bella G. If Bella G is here, Bella G is always here as well. There's a lot of you guys, and I love, like you said, Devyn, when I watch it back and I go through the chat, I'm like, oh, good. I love to see my people. Also, shout out to 901 Erica as well.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. We have a lot of stuff to get into today. We are talking about Leonardo DiCaprio. I know that he is not part of the daily docket, but I'm a fan. So when I saw him pop up on the internet this morning, I had to include it. So just bear with me while we get through that one. He actually did something good. I appreciate it. We're talking about more of that Lea Michele controversy. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this, Courtney. Vanessa Morgan got a well-deserved apology. Billie Eilish is out there doing her thing, supporting the Black Lives Matter movement. Jake Paul has received some criminal charges. What else are we getting into? Sophia Richie and Scott Disick, of course. We've got some Kourtney Kardashian news, Kanye news. So that's what we're going to be getting into today. But before we do all of that, I do want to mention that the first of 4 George Floyd memorial services happened yesterday. It was moving. It was emotional. Reverend Al Sharpton remembered George and reminded the audience that he didn't die of common health conditions. He died of, quote, common American criminal justice malfunction. He also called out President Trump and the mayor and governor. I thought that it was important to include the issue. Like, it wasn't just a memorial service for a person who died. It was like a political movement. It was a social movement. And I think that was important because, we need to remember like what truly happened here. And then George's family also remembered him as a, quote, magnetic presence who always made people feel special. So it was very well attended and it was a moving service. Were you able to catch any of it, Courtney?
Absolutely not. I am not a person that does well with memorial services, whether it's someone I know or someone I don't. The last memorial service I was at, Devyn, I literally burst into tears and like made a spectacle out of myself because I'm just an emotional person. Y'all saw when Madison left, like I can't do it. So absolutely not. However, I do support the comments that Al Sharpton has made because it is a very important time. And also, Devyn, I also would like to make the point of when you protest in a passive way, a lot of times it allows people to glaze over you. You get what I'm saying? It allows people to steamroll over you, much like taking a knee. Now, I want to bring to the light now that we've had the protest and all of this notice, people that are protesting on other continents, I just want to bring up that action creates action. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree with you completely. And I know that we sort of touched on that a little bit when it was Blackout Tuesday. And there was the conversation of, what's a black square going to do to help? And it wasn't just the act of posting a black square that's going to help the cause. I mean, sure, it might raise a bit of awareness, but it's that in conjunction with an action, signing a petition, donating, watching that video that we've talked about where they are spreading the revenue from the views across multiple organizations going out to a protest. There are so many different ways for people to get involved and demand the change that we so need right now. And so yes, that's a great point. And speaking of action, I felt like we needed to remember Breonna Taylor. Today actually marks what would have been her 27th birthday. She has been a part of the conversation in the Black Lives Matter movement, especially I've noticed as we've gotten closer to her birthday. And her story is very tragic. So she was killed 2 months ago when police broke down the door to her apartment in an attempted drug sting. They shot her 8 times while she slept, and she was not even involved in it. Her family's filed a wrongful death lawsuit, and the 3 officers involved in her shooting are still on administrative leave, but they haven't been charged yet. There is a change.org petition calling for justice for Breonna. People are also encouraging the use of the hashtag birthday for Breonna to spread awareness about her story and make sure that it doesn't get lost in the conversations that we're having. So if you feel so inclined, you can use that hashtag birthday for Breonna and sign that change.org petition. Just wanted to mention that because it is her birthday today. I
want to say this, Devyn. Accidents happen. Losing a life because of it, unacceptable.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Accidents happen. Nobody's perfect. Hannah Montana. Y'all have heard me say this for a year and some change now. But when people have to lose their lives because it's not like this is one time that this has happened. Oh, it was a mistake. It's an issue. And it's unacceptable, Devyn. I'm sorry. It's just unacceptable. I can't accept that. So please make sure that you guys raise awareness for this young lady's birthday. It's absolutely tragic and awful.
Mm-hmm. It really, really is. So birthday for Brianna, you guys, and that change.org petition. After the show, I will try to include a swipe up on my Instagram story. Courtney, I don't know if you feel inclined to do the same thing, but if you guys want to check it out, go ahead and swipe up and you can sign the petition. But it's not up there yet. I'll have to do it after the show because I haven't had a chance yet. Before we get into the celebrity news rundown, I do want to mention that we got a $5 super chat from Nans. Begons, I'm not sure how to say your last name. She says, been watching the morning tea for 6 months, and it's been a ritual every weekday, giving me life while at work, and I love it. Oh, I love that. 6 months.
Thank you.
So dedicated. I love that. Okay, so let's jump in. We are talking about my future husband, Leonardo DiCaprio. So Leonardo DiCaprio spoke out about the injustices that the Black community is currently facing, and he said, quote, I am dedicated to end the disenfranchisement of Black America that's been present for too long. I will support those individuals, organizations, and coalitions that are committed to bringing about long-term change. He also listed the organizations that he's donating to, including Color of Change, Fair Fight Action, the NAACP, and Equal Justice Initiative. So I just wanted to shout out Leo for finally speaking out. I think that, I have to admit, I think this should have happened sooner, but happening later than not at all is better. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Leo. Glad that he's donating money. He's always been super generous with the money that he has, donating to different, environmental organizations and animal organizations. So I'm glad that he's also taking the same care and attention and generosity and applying it to Black Lives Matter and giving these organizations some funds. So shout out to Leo. Now I'm just waiting for my proposal. So
it's coming, girl. You gotta manifest it. Because one day, girl, you could be out shopping and Leo could just be in the norm, girl. No bodyguards, nothing. And you know what, Devyn? When that opportunity happens, when that door opens for you, you better take it. You better not think once. You better not think twice. You just need to walk on over and, hi, I'm the Devyn Howard. Did you know that I'm an incredible host? I think that I should be the woman in your life. Do you know what I bring to the table, girl? And then that's when you dig in your manila folder, girl. Bam! I'm the #1 prospect. You don't need to have no other choices because I am the vegan queen. You want a meal? Girl, you gotta sell it. You gotta sell it, girl.
Can I just have you hype me up? Like, can we just plan this Leo run-in so that you can do this? Because I think you're better at hyping me up than I am.
Devyn DiCaprio, are you kidding me? That's a name. Devyn DiCaprio, girl. That sound like you flying to Italy, girl. You on the gondola, girl. Devyn DiCaprio. Did you see Devyn and Leo DiCaprio over on the gondola? Oh my God. Now that's the story, girl. Now that's the tea. I want to talk about. Oh my God. So don't know Devyn that used to work here? Oh my God. She is literally on the gondola. Leonardo DiCaprio. Now that's what I call a happily ever after. I can see it now, girl. I painted the picture. I hope you can see it, girl.
I've been able to see this future since I was 5 years old. It's just about getting everybody else, to see it with me. That's been the biggest stumbling block, but I'm working on it, and Courtney, you are helping. I appreciate it so much. Let's pour the tea so we can get into the celebrity news that is more interesting to all of us rather than just my little Leo fascination, because you guys, I put that story in for me. I just have to say. Let's be real. Okay, so cheers to the weekend. Cheers to having a monumental week in the Black Lives Matter movement. Cheers to the Tea Tribe for hanging out with us all week and for listening to us talk.
Yes, and for being respectful. Thanks, you guys. We really appreciate that.
It's amazing. Okay, so let's talk about this first story. This is all about Gabrielle Union. I'm not sure if you guys have touched on this on the tea in the past, but okay, so you have. So she America's Got Talent after one season with the show, and she cited a toxic work culture and racism as the reason behind her exit. And now she's actually taking legal action against the producers of America's Got Talent, So she's been really open about how the work environment affected her and how it was really, really, unhealthy for her to be there. And in the filing, she describes experiencing racist and misogynistic conduct on set. She was reportedly told that her hairstyles were, quote, too black for the America's Got Talent audience. So many issues here, but now she is taking legal action. So that's the latest update of that story. Courtney, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
I think what has happened to Gabrielle Union has happened to a lot of Black women specifically. Black people definitely, Devyn, but Black women specifically. And going back to the hair comment, that thing bothers me because I remember there's someone that I know, and she's an incredible Black woman, and she was working at a job, worked there for years, Devyn, and then all of a sudden her job just woke up one day and they said, you know what, your cornrows, they're a little bit too ethnic. And it wasn't like an office job. It wasn't the kind of job where you were in a suit or a dress. It wasn't that kind of position, I'll say. So I'm glad that Gabrielle Union is calling it out because you know what, Devyn? At what point do we say enough is enough? I'm curious to know what Tyra's experience was on America's Got Talent because she also was on America's Got Talent as well. But I believe she really hasn't had much to say. I hope that she wins because I believe her. Okay?
Yeah, I believe her too. And, to me, it's just even shocking that that's like something that someone would even say to another person. I personally have never looked at any hairstyle or any outfit on a TV show and thought like, that's like too, anything. Like that's too black or too whatever. I've never thought that before. So I don't even know why people are saying that kind of thing. It's so wildly inappropriate. And I am in full support of Gabrielle Union for pushing forward with this and for taking legal action. And I hope that she gets the result that she's hoping for. And I think she will. I think especially in this climate.
I also want to say, Devyn, that I hope that at the end of it all, whether she wins or not, eyes are open that this kind of thing happens and often.
Yep, for sure. Also, I see a lot of people in the chat here saying, are you guys doing Tequila Friday or Shambong Friday? And we are. Are we going to do it? Let's do it. Or are we doing
not right now, Devyn. Not right now, girl. But y'all should already know, T-Tribe, that we do Shambong Friday right in the midst of Card Jenner tea time because that's when the most mess is. Now, y'all already know I got my barefoot bubbly. You just gotta put your seatbelt on. We gonna get there.
We are getting there, so you're with us for the long haul, you guys. And let's get into the next update. So we've been talking about Lea Michele all week, and there's been a couple new updates that came out yesterday that I need to fill you all in on. So her former understudy revealed that her awful behavior started at a very young age. So Elizabeth Aldrich took to Twitter on Wednesday to say that she was Lea Michele's understudy in Ragtime. She said, quote, she was absolutely awful to me and ensemble. She demeaned the crew and threatened to have people fired if she was in any way displeased. I used to cry every night from the mean and manipulative things she would do. She was 12. She was terrifying. It is shocking to hear that a 12-year-old was just stomping around set, manipulating the cast, telling people that they'd get fired. Like, this behavior, wow, I'm speechless. This behavior started so young for Lea. Do you have anything to say?
Devyn, I'm sad. Going back to yesterday, we had discussed very briefly that Naya Rivera had come out and said these things about her, and her career took a hit. We got this young lady, 12 years old. Lea Michele was acting out before we even hit the teens. She was acting out. And I feel for this young lady because I'm sure when Glee was out and at the height of its career, she wanted to say something, but I mean, look what happened to the people that did speak out, and that's unfortunate. But I'm glad that she's getting her chance now because it just goes to show that it was in her. Was she taught this way? These are questions I have. Like, what is her family like? You know what I mean? For her to think that she's allegedly above everyone else in terms of how she's behaved. That's awful.
It's super awful. And to me, it sounds like an underlying personality disorder. Like
Mm.
some sort of narcissistic personality disorder or something. That's just speculation, not confirmation. I have no idea if she has a personality disorder, but it sounds like it for that kind of behavior, for that kind of like aggressive behavior for a 12-year-old. Wow, it's
Mm.
like very alarming.
That's scary.
Um,
How about this, Devin? Before we move on, let me say this. Let's hope, because Leah Michelle is pregnant, that she does not pass along those behaviors and values and microaggressions onto her child. Let's hope that because this has happened in the midst of her pregnancy, it has activated something in her that makes her realize the wrong, and hopefully she can make a change. Let's hope
yeah,
for her career
yeah.
and her child.
Motherhood can change people, so yeah, let's hope. Let's cross our fingers. It's worth getting into though for the next story that there's another person who's running and jumping to her defense, her on-screen boyfriend, Dean Geyer. So he actually talked to Hollywood Life and he said, quote, I am not negating or questioning the validity of the experiences people have had and spoken out about. I can only share my opinions from my personal time on set with pure transparency. I am truly saddened to hear that there are people out there who were uncomfortable and negatively affected by the things they heard. He added, personally, my interactions with Leah were really positive. She was awesome to be around and was openly friendly to everybody I witnessed. He says that no one ever said anything about her being mean. So here's what I think about that. Leah Michelle was obviously a star of the show. So these, guest co-stars that were coming in or the people who weren't a regular part of the cast were never going to speak up against the main person on the show, the star of the show.
Mm.
So of course they're not going to say anything. I realize that everybody on that cast has their own story and their own experience with Leah, but at this point, I don't feel like she needs all these people to be coming to her defense. I don't understand why what some of these people are choosing to contribute to the conversation is that, she was always friendly. Why? Like, let's have this conversation. Let's figure out what's going on, but we don't need people to come and say, like, my experience was positive. At least that's how
I
I
feel
feel.
like I look at it as, Devin, y'all are out here trying to minimize the experience of those black actors that then came out and said that she was awful. So all y'all need to shut up. Because nobody asked y'all. You get what I'm saying? It really appears, it started off as like this black actress being like, you said you were going to poop in my wig, and I'm very upset about it. Your support is performative and fake. That's what I took away from it. And then all of a sudden it was like, no, she wasn't mean to those black people. Not Leah Michelle. My experience as a white person, Leah Michelle was always nice to me. Well, guess what? We're not talking about your experience. We don't care about your experience. We're talking about the experience of the actresses that were affected. So next, right?
Such a good.
Like,
It doesn't make sense. I think it's super weird. I think it's bizarre that people are doing that. And yeah, you'll notice that the people who have come and said, like, Leah was nice, were both white people. Amber Riley did say, like, she and I talked privately, like, we got that out of the way. That's all I'm saying about it. Now I don't give a ish about this anymore. So, I mean, Amber didn't necessarily, like, badmouth Leah, but she said that they discussed it privately. She didn't negate what the other people were saying. She didn't say that she was wonderful or whatever. But yeah, the only people who were really supporting her and who were saying she was fine are white people, which it's just like, it's not a good look.
You know what, Devin, before we move on, the only white person that I want to hear from that has an opinion on Leah Michelle at this point, and let me know, T-Tribe, if you agree, is Ryan Murphy. I don't want to hear from anyone else. All I needed to hear from was from Amber Riley and Ryan Murphy. I don't need to hear from anyone else.
I know. I think Ryan Murphy, it's about time for him to speak up. Needs to happen. Okay, so let's talk about Vanessa Morgan. Actually, she had the Riverdale executive producer speak up. So earlier this week, we told you how Vanessa called out her own show, Riverdale, for depicting her and other black characters as sidekicks with no real depth. She said that they were only added into the storyline to add a little bit of sass. And you know, when you're an actor and you work so hard to perfect your craft and you get this amazing role on a new show, to be reduced to a one-dimensional character has to be extremely frustrating and disappointing. So her post inspired the Hear Vanessa Morgan hashtag on Twitter. And I think having so many people jump on board and spread this hashtag around, it caused the executive producer to acknowledge everything going on. So he posted and said, "We hear Vanessa. We love Vanessa. She's right. We're sorry, and we make the same promise to you that we did to her. We will do better to honor her and the character she plays, as well as all of our actors and characters of color. Change is happening and will continue to happen. Riverdale will get bigger, not smaller. Riverdale will be part of the movement, not outside it. All of the Riverdale writers made a donation to Black Lives Matter LA, but we know where the work must happen for us, in the writer's room." Courtney, I want to hear from you before I start saying anything. What do you think about this apology? Do you think it's sincere? Or are you still just like, okay, nice, thanks, but where's the action? Let's get something actually happening.
I feel nice, thanks. But it's like y'all don't really have a choice now, because imagine, let's just say speculation, not confirmation, Devyn. Vanessa has said something in the past and was brutally rebuffed. She was ignored. You get what I'm saying? Now that she's made a big stink about it, now all of a sudden there's a statement. You get what I'm saying? I'm very curious to see if they follow through with what they're saying, because I personally feel like there will probably be a lot of people that would walk away from the series. Not saying you, the person that's sitting there going, well, I'm not. Other people that would walk away from the show knowing that they've made this sort of promise, and if they don't see it fulfilled, I think people will walk away. So I hope that they do, because lots of people enjoyed the franchise. So let's hope, Devyn. Let's hope their writing room gets a little bit more diversified.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, I think that it's a nice apology, but until we actually see something happening and changing, that's going to be, you know, that's going to be the real thing. That's going to be when we're like, okay, so you guys actually did listen. I want to call out what Wesley said. He said, "Sorry, but I don't believe this statement until something really happens. This to me is all a bunch of nice words." And that's, you know, exactly what we're saying. So we agree with what Wesley say. Yeah.
Wait, Karina said, and I agree. Karina says that it shouldn't have taken Vanessa coming out publicly for things to finally change. I wonder how many times she has said something about this and it was brushed under the rug. Exactly. That's exactly how I feel, because it feels it's like Devyn on Twitter right now. It's like the brands that come out and they're like, "We love Black people, Black Lives Matter, oh my God, we love including all of our Black brothers and sisters," and then there's like an ex-employee that will quote tweet the tweet and be like, "Remember when I came into your office and I was crying because I felt like Black people weren't being included and then you fired me?" Like, those types of things are happening. So I think Vanessa aided in making it such a big deal, because Devyn, before you know it, Riverdale fans, her little character being written out of the show, and we would never hear from her ever again. So I'm glad that it was made a big deal, because y'all are not gonna fire her, y'all not gonna make her pregnant, and then she has a baby, and then all of a sudden she disappears, because you know that's how they like to do Black characters on shows, Devyn. I'm tired of watching dramatic series, especially the teen ones, where there's a Black character that's kind of like a sidekick, and then all of a sudden they get pregnant. Or flip side, if it's a male character, they get involved in some sort of drama where there's a gun and then they're shot. Like, I'm sick of the stereotypes. Clearly, hi, I'm a Black person and I'm not getting pregnant and I'm not abusing drugs and I'm not in gang wars. So, like, show the other side of Black people. Don't just say, we'll include more Black stories and then make a woman pregnant. You get what I'm saying? There has to be more work done. That's why shows like Insecure are so popular within the Black community, because they explore real issues that go beyond the typical, beyond the stereotypical.
Right.
Yeah.
It's one thing to have a diverse cast, but every single character of color just plays into a stereotype or like a trope that already exists. Like, that's not doing anything for the lack of representation. When we want a diverse cast, we want people who are occupying all different types of roles. We want to see, you know, like, not just the same thing over and over again. Exactly like what you're saying. The drug wars, the pregnancies, the angry Black girl, that I feel like is seen so often on television and in movies. And it's just, we don't want that. There's more. There's more out there. Way more out there. let's get into Billie Eilish. She is still working on on promoting the Black Lives Matter movement and doing what she can to get involved. She's been very, very vocal about the state of the world, but now she's putting her feet to the pavement and she got involved. She went to a protest for Black Lives Matter and she filmed hundreds of protesters who were there to fight against racial injustice. And she didn't go there and like share her photos of herself holding up a sign or
Really?
marching alongside other people. She just shared this peaceful moment where everybody is taking a knee and putting their arms up in the air. And I like that she did that. Like, oh, we get that. We understand that you're there, Billie. We realize you're not there for self-promotion. You wanted to share a beautiful moment that you saw. Honestly, Billie is such a great person. I think she is a great role model for young girls. Don't you agree?
I agree, Billie and also Halsey. Two women that are out there. They're like, listen, we are protesting. Halsey said, don't you dare whip your camera out. You're not taking no pictures of me. We're here for the movement. Let's keep the focus. And I've talked about this previously, Devyn, with like the performative photos at the protest. They're a little gross to me. That's just not the way I would go about it. I feel like you wouldn't see my protest picture until like next year when hopefully things calm down. It just seems like during this time when I see people and the celebrities and they're like, oh, look, and it's aesthetic and look, it just comes off very like, really? Like my struggle is an accessory to you. My struggle is something that you're taking pictures to get engagement and likes. You're gross.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
It is gross. I feel the exact same way. I don't like it. Okay, I'm going to jump into our next story here. Changing gears, just actually changing gears quite a bit for this one, but I just want to fill you all in because for me it's like mind blowing. There is somehow, some way in Lori Loughlin's mind that she thinks that she's going to be able to return to acting. An insider close to the mom of two said that her goal is to land another role on TV. They said, quote, after months of keeping a low profile, Lori is ready to return to the spotlight. She's already been inundated with offers to do an on-air tell-all interview, and she's in talks with publishers about writing a book about her experience. She, quote, wants to get her side of the story out there, and she is, quote, full of regrets about the college admissions scandal, but she's not going to let it get in the way of her making a comeback. Now, this, I think, is the worst PR move that Lori Loughlin could take. If she wants to earn back any ounce of respect, she needs to lay low. She needs to start up a charity. She needs to get involved in, community organizations. But to go and still try and pursue a career on camera and write a book about her experience, what are you going to say? I had a lot of money and decided to buy my girl's way into college. Like, what is your side of the story? I don't even really care. Do you care?
No, but let me tell you why Lori Loughlin is gonna win. Right? She gonna do all of that stuff and she gonna be just fine. And it's all because of white privilege. She will find a way. She's got white privilege. She will find a way. Now, for those of y'all that watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, y'all know that Garcelle has two young sons. Now, for those that know Garcelle, she's a black woman, very famous, iconic, phenomenal black actress. If Garcelle would have been involved in a scandal like this, Devyn, we would never hear from Garcelle ever again. Andy Cohen be done called her and said, girl, give me your diamond back. You're getting booted out of Beverly Hills. We would never hear from Garcelle. She wouldn't have no podcast. She wouldn't have no book. She would be getting dragged. She would be called a thug. She'd be called a scammer. Lori Loughlin, I'm the only person on the internet calling her a scammer. And that's because Lori's got white privilege and she will find a way. And she gonna get her bag back. And it's not right. And it's not okay, Whitney Houston. But you know that there are people that are going to support her, some of them solely based off of the strength that she's white, or solely based off of the strength of 50 million years ago she was Aunt Becky, or based off of the strength of, oh, I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning on the Hallmark Channel and there was Lori Loughlin in some awful movie. Like, you get what I'm saying? So she'll be fine because there are people that are always going to support ignorance and there are always going to be people that support the white privilege. So go off, Lori.
Ugh, I don't want it. I don't want her to go off. I'm over it. And can we also get a recording of the white privilege song, please, Courtney? I'd like that.
White privilege, never she will find a way.
It's a good song. It's a really good song. But yeah, yeah, I don't even know what to say. To me, it's like such a bad move. And I know that people are going to buy the book and people are going to watch the shows. And I wish it wasn't like that. And I wish that she would be smart enough to just, you know, say like, okay, my time in the spotlight is done. I really, really messed up. I need to just hang back now. Like, I just need to be a normal person. Same with Olivia Jade. I want this girl to become like a real estate agent. That would be great. So that she can just live a normal life and not constantly be like, gimme, gimme, gimme with this more attention stuff. Anyway, I had to fill you guys in on that. Let's get into the final OMT story today. This is about Jake Paul. You may have seen the video that I did yesterday about this on our channel. He was hit with misdemeanor charges following that mall looting and vandalizing incident. He swears he wasn't participating in any of the destruction. He was just reporting it. But the Scottsdale Police Department said they received many tips that implicated Jake Paul and said that he was being charged with trespassing for being on the mall property after it was closed. So he hasn't been arrested or anything, but he has been charged with 2 misdemeanors. Upon hearing that news, he tweeted, "Give me my charges and let's put the focus back on George Floyd and Black Lives Matter."
Logan Paul, log out of your brother's account.
Wait, what'd you say? You think it was
said Logan Paul? Logan Paul, log out of Jake's account because, girl, who's he for?
I read that and I was like, that's like possibly the best response that Jake could have had. And then I was like, wait, this is Jake Paul we're talking about. You're right. It probably was Logan Paul, or they both have a social media manager or he has a social media manager who decided to hop on over to Jake's account and was like, this is what you're going to say. Like, that's probably the best way to handle it. Don't fight it. Don't be like, oh, but I didn't do anything. Like, good response, Jake. I will give you that, but still, it's kind of funny that he's
out of that anyway, Devyn. That's why I think that there's no fear, and that's why there wasn't a lot of care, because it really don't matter. Like, y'all could lock Jake Paul up if there's some sort of bail or anything like that. Girl, hook it out in seconds. He said, literally a finger snap, girl, to that Venmo or however the bail bonds work, girl. You do a little whoop, and how much y'all need? And he's walking out with a camera crew on him, and all the kids are like, yeah. All the 14-year-olds. My brother's like 14, and he tells me all the kids his age, they said the girl, the 4s, they said, girl, but people make mistakes, girl, the 14-year-olds. They said, we're still going to buy Jake Paul merch. And you know what, Devyn? My old middle school had to ban the Jake Paul, Logan Paul merch, whatever that, the Falcon, whatever that was. They had to ban all of their merch because they were... they put it under like gang wear. So like my brother goes to like a public school, but like they wear uniforms, but the kids would come with the Jake Paul merch on over it. So they put it under gang activity because the Pauls are awful people, and the parents were calling. You can't even wear the merch on the grounds or you gonna be in school suspension. But you can wear that speculation, not confirmation merch though. Hey, because I'm
yes. Okay, so if any of you went to Courtney's middle school and you do want to sport some merch, get that speculation, not confirmation sweatshirt, because that one is allowed. That one has been banned. Yeah, so anyway, I don't know. I don't think I've ever watched a full Jake Paul video, so I can't speak for his appeal to the young audiences, but I guess they still support him. If I had a 14-year-old right now, I'd be like, you're not watching. Like, I'm banned. I'm going to do whatever you got to do, the security things, the blocking things on YouTube, and make it so that you can't watch the Paul brothers. Wesley said in here, the only Paul we stand is RuPaul. That's true. That is very true.
All Stars 5 is coming, Devyn. I'm very ready. Shout out to Wesley.
Amazing. All right. Well, let's jump into celebrity therapy. It is the perfect story to segue us right into Kar Jenner Tea Time. I decided to not include this in Kar Jenner Tea Time because it's about Sophia Richie, and now that she's no longer with Scott Disick, she is not really part of the Kar Jenner group. And you know, we didn't have a lot of celebrity therapy stories to get into today, so I moved Sophia Richie over here. It was Leo's suggestion, so thank you, Leo. Okay.
Thank you, Leo.
While Scott is pining away over Sophia, she is stepping into her own light according to celebrity brand expert Eric Schiffer. Her plan is to soar without Scott and build a multi-million-dollar modeling and acting career that will catapult her to freedom. That is this brand expert's direct words. Scott, on the other hand, is at a, quote, dangerously high risk of ruining his reputation. Sophia was very grounding for him, and the brand expert says that without her, he's going to be out of touch and reckless. A source told Life and Style that she really, really loved Scott and that there are no hard feelings, but she really wants to act and is concentrating on her career. Now, Courtney, I feel like this is everything that you've been wanting Sophia to do, to just move to New York and get that acting career going and do that running modeling career. And now
I'm laughing.
Yeah.
Devyn, I'm laughing at the headline that's like Sophia Richie's soaring post split. It's been like 3 days. Like has it been like a week? Like I feel like we like just found out. Sophia, she's already got her wings. How many Red Bulls did Sophia have? She's soaring, girl. Soaring right to the runway, girl. Move over, Kenny, with the good leg. Because Sophia is here.
The brand expert said that she is soaring. So you know what? I felt like that needed to be the title here because she is soaring. She's soaring.
Okay, girl. You know I support it. Hey, there's not a star in heaven that we can't reach. Come on, Twinkle Town. If we're trying, oh, we're breaking free. Oh, we're breaking free. Shout out to Drew Seeley because Zac Efron did not sing that, but we definitely support Drew Seeley, his live and his vocals in the first High School Musical film. Shout out to Zac Efron from 2 and beyond.
All right. Okay. So now that we got that out of the way, great High School Musical song, by the way. I always thought it was Zac Efron singing it, so learn something new every day. Let's get into Car Jenner Tea Time. Where's the
Car Jenner Tea Time?
Okay, great.
Devyn, I need a shambong. Go ahead and start the story, girl.
Well, I'm going to take a sip too here. I have my little cocktail. I don't have a shambong, you guys, so I got to make do with my iridescent glasses. So we will just take a little drinky drink.
Come on, yeah.
Are you welcome to a whole new bottle of champagne right now?
Girl, every Friday, girl, every Friday. Oh yes, girl. When I go to the supermarket, it's not like I get like one bottle and I'm like, ooh, I'll just pour one shambong on Friday. Girl, I go and I get like 4 bottles at a time. I buy the month's worth, girl. It's a brand new bottle, girl. It's for the celebration, girl. It's like New Year's Eve, girl. Every Friday, girl. Wait, I didn't grab the shambong and never took the top off. All right, hang on. Okay.
Yum.
Oh.
My drink is really good.
Is it tasty? Is that a mimosa?
Yes, it sure is.
Oh, come on, girl.
Okay,
I'm ready, Devyn. Cheers. Pop!
Cheers! Oh, I was already drinking. I'm sorry. Also, I would just like to point out to that one person who called me out for my drippy mug. This one was nice and clean today, so don't hate. Anyway. Car Jenner Tea Time. Let's talk about Courtney Kardashian. She had I think it was a nice message, a good message. But again, we're hearing a lot of good messages lately. So what we need now is the action that Courtney's been talking about. But she took to her Instagram to share how she plans on making sure her children are aware of the racial inequalities that are present in our world. She posted this picture that Leo is going to throw up there for you. And then in her caption, she said, as a mother, there's a natural instinct to protect my children from anything that might make them feel sad or unsafe. The pain and suffering inflicted by racism is not a thing of the past, and I bear the responsibility to speak with my kids honestly and often about it, even when the truth is uncomfortable. She continued writing, quote, I have to make sure they understand what it means to have white privilege and to take the time to learn and discuss Black history beyond just one short month out of the year. She also encouraged other mothers to join her in using the death of George Floyd as a learning lesson for their children and to allow their children to feel comfortable enough to come talk about anything. And I think that, you know, even if this is all Courtney does, like if this is the extent of her activism, I know that for me reading it, I was thinking to myself, like, yeah, I want to start talking to my nephew about this kind of thing. Like, I want to take it upon myself, and I know my sister would do the same, but like, I want to take it upon myself to make sure that he grows up to be a loving, accepting, open-hearted person. And not that that's something I wasn't wanting to do before, but like Courtney reiterated that we need Black history to be taught in more than just 1 month out of the year. So I'd like to take it upon myself to share those kinds of stories with my nephew. So I think that it was inspiring in that sense, but it, you know, it's kind of like the bare minimum that she could be doing. Where do you stand on this?
I know that all of y'all have now, like, I guess not even y'all, let me blame myself. I've built up this reputation of hating Kourtney Kardashian, which I think is very strange because this is an opinion-based show. So I'm here to give an opinion on the trash that Kourtney Kardashian does. In my opinion, I feel like this is probably the best thing that Kourtney Kardashian has done in her entire career to me. Can I tell you why, Devyn? There are lots of children that grow up they've grown up without having to know about Black history. Like for me, it wasn't an option. Like growing up, like my dad like predicted this. He literally told me that something like this would happen. And in order for me to be the voice that I want to be, I have to know my history. You have to know your history or else you're doomed to repeat it. You get what I'm saying? So I'm glad that Kourtney Kardashian is taking the time to teach her children. It goes beyond saying, Devyn, Black people are fine. Black people are just like us. No, get them involved. My thing when I was younger, Devyn, was I loved to write. I'm a poet, and now you guys all know it. So my dad was showing me Black poets and Langston Hughes. You get what I'm saying? You have to read the books. You have to watch Roots. You have to do your homework so that you fully understand, so that when these things happen, you don't feel out of place for not being angry, outraged, and upset. You get what I'm saying? It goes beyond not being racist. Nowadays, you have to be anti-racist. It's not enough to be complicit. It's not enough to be silent. If you support me in any way possible, you're a Black Lives Matters kind of person. You get what I'm saying? You cannot support me, Devyn, and be an All Lives Matters person because I'm Black. You get what I'm saying? And right now, my people are dying every day, Devyn. So I'm glad that Kourtney Kardashian is doing it because racism is a generational thing. A lot of the people I see, older people. You get what I'm saying? So teach it to the kids while they're young so that when they grow up to be even just 16, 17, 18, you know how many kids I see on Twitter, Devyn, getting their parents together and the parents don't want to hear it. They only want to watch the news. You get what I'm saying? So good job and all of the kudos to Kourtney Kardashian. And I hope that Kim, Khloe, Kylie, maybe Kendall one day, Rob, China too, when she take the cord from around his neck, y'all sit down and y'all talk to Dream about what's going on in the world and how they fit in. You get what I'm saying? How to treat other people with kindness. Shout out to Harry Styles.
Yes, and I also really appreciate that Courtney, more than just saying like, you know, read these books, read White Fragility, read, you know, these articles, watch these videos. I like that she focused on history because I mean, at least for me, I think it's common knowledge that the history that we're taught in schools is very whitewashed and it's very, you know, focused on what men have done. So what we really need to do is include more of the Black people that created change and that did so much, more women, more, you know, Black women who were just as much a part of history as the white man that we've heard about, the white men that we've been hearing about. So I do want to also just focus on that for a second and how Courtney did bring attention to that and made it more than just like educating yourself now as an adult, but really also going back and re-examining US history and realizing that there are so many stories that we never got to hear because they didn't fit into like the whitewashed version that the history textbooks wanted us to hear, which is just very, very strange. Okay, so now
Wesley is saying, Devyn, Wesley is recommending a book. He is saying, read The Hate You Give, written by Angie Thomas. Everybody check that out.
Oh,
yes.
I read that before. I read that in high school. Good recommendation.
Give us the review, Devyn.
I need to go back and remind myself of what it is, but in my English class, we read that book among others, and I'm trying to remember, gosh, now I wish I could remember, but I have it still, so I do know that I read it.
Okay, girl, go ahead. I'm with it.
Yeah. Okay, so now let's get into, Autumn gave us $9.99. She says, morning, Devyn and Courtney. You guys are such positive role models. I wish that there were more people like you guys. I want to say thank you for making the Tea Tribe a positive space for everyone. Aww.
Thank you so much. Good morning or good evening, wherever you are, Autumn. Thank you so much. Me and Devyn are sending you all of the love and light right to wherever you are. Thanks for joining us. Also, shout out to all of the after sippers. I know that there are a lot of you guys going back to school. I mean, not going back to school, but going back to work and stuff, and you guys are a little bit busier in the morning. So if you're watching afterwards, just know that we're thinking of you and we appreciate you, and we see all of your comments after, letting us know that, hey, I had a rough day, but I'm here to watch the tea. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you to the after sippers. Well, we have two more stories to get into that kind of go along with what Kourtney Kardashian was saying, especially our final story about Selena Gomez that we're going to be talking about. But before we do that, I just want to fill you guys in on what Kanye West did. So he donated $2 million to charities associated with Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and George Floyd. He also set up a college fund to cover tuition for George Floyd's 6-year-old daughter, Gianna. And he'll be aiding Black-owned businesses in his hometown and across the nation. You guys may have seen the pictures of him marching with people in Chicago and really getting involved. He's been largely silent up until this point, which I think was surprising for a lot of people. We do know where his political views lie, so I don't know if that played a role in why he wasn't speaking up about Black Lives Matter, or if he just wanted to take his own time to process everything that was going on. But I think that this donation was huge. I mean, $2 million is a ton of money, and that college fund to cover tuition for Gianna was very, very touching. So he's doing good. He's, trying to make an impact, and I hope that he, does the right thing in the polling booth too. So we'll see what happens with that. Do you have any quick thing you want to add before we get into the final story?
The only thing I want to say, Devyn, is that for me personally, it does not erase the comments that Kanye has made in the past, such as saying that slavery was a choice. That was the one that really got me. And y'all know that although I love Taylor Swift with every bit of my being, I am a Kanye West fan in terms of the music. It does not erase those things, Devyn, but at the end of the day, that little girl has a college fund and none of these other celebrities stepped up. So give that man his flowers on that.
All right, well, let's get into the final news story. For all you Selenators who are watching right now, give us that crown emoji in the chat. We are going to be talking about a way that she is really going to be amplifying Black voices, and I love her for this. She's continuing to use her platform for good. So yesterday, she encouraged her audience to the day before yesterday, she encouraged her audience to register to vote. And now she's letting Black leaders take over her account to shed light on important causes. That's an audience of 178 million people who are going to be hearing from these Black leaders that are taking over her Instagram account. In the caption, she said, quote, "After thinking about how best to use my social media, I decided that we all need to hear more from Black voices. Over the next few days, I will be highlighting influential leaders and giving them a chance to take over my Instagram so that they can speak directly to all of us. We have an obligation to do better, and we can start by listening with an open heart and mind." This is, I think, super, super cool because she has a young, impressionable audience who eat up literally every story that she posts, every picture that she posts. and how cool to use her platform to give Black leaders an opportunity to speak to 178 million people. I feel like that's huge.
That is outstanding. Outstanding. When I say, Devyn, using your platform, that is using your platform. I'm not saying you got to be out in the streets. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying you have to fight with the police. I'm not saying you have to be out, but there are ways you can use your platform. Now, I would hope, I doubt it, but the Jenners could have done this. Kylie, right? You could have done this. If the rest of the sisters didn't want to do it, Devyn, Kylie could have done this. And it would have been absolutely groundbreaking. You get up there, turn the comments off, girl, and just get 10 to 15 people, give them 3 to 5 minutes to just say their piece, share a story, read something, just educate, because it's about education. It's sad that as adults, we have to educate other adults, but that is the world that we live in. Do you want change or do you not want to change? Change takes energy.
I agree. Yeah. And I think that this is going to be such an awesome way to get people to really listen, because they, we have so many people who just stand Selena Gomez. And if Selena Gomez says, listen to this person, they're going to listen. Whereas if that person was on their own platform saying, you guys should listen to me, we don't know that all of Selena's fans would be paying attention and absorbing the information that that person is giving. So I think this is great. I know I'm going to be tuning in to see who's taking over her Instagram account and what they say. When everybody's talking about educating yourself and enlightening yourself and spreading information, learning new things, learning the ways that you might be passively racist, even if you don't realize it, like, this is such a great way to combat that. And I hope that even if you're not following Selena, you are inclined to tune in and see what's going on her social media over the next few days. So that is really, really cool of her. But that was our final story for the day. So Courtney, if there's anything that you would like to add, or if there's anything that you want to share, go right ahead.
Devyn, let's do I'm going to do a quick shambong. And for the next 2 minutes, if anyone wants to ask us a question, go for it while I pour for it.
Okay, good idea. So if you have a question for us, you guys, get those questions coming in. We can talk for a few more minutes, and then as a reminder, while Courtney is pouring that shambong, when we wrap up, probably within 15 or 20 minutes of us wrapping up the show, I will post that Breonna Taylor petition. So if you want to sign it, make sure that you go and do that. And
here's a good one. 901 Erica is asking, are we going to have any more guests? 901 Erica, first of all, hey, good morning. We will be having a guest. I don't want to say who it is just yet because, things change and things happen. But we will be having a guest perhaps on Monday. So don't miss that episode. Devyn, who are you most inspired by?
Who am I most inspired by? Let me think about that. Sorry, I started laughing because Karina says, Devyn, will you get a mug covered in drips for the trolls? You know what? Yes, I will get a mug covered in drips for the trolls. Who am I most inspired by? Oh, gosh. That's a good question. I wish I had a good answer right away. You know what? Don't judge me. I'm inspired by Leo because I appreciate so much that he's done for done for the environment and for animal conservation. I mean, that guy donated like $5 million to save the tigers, and I think that he's consistently over the last decade or more used his fame and his platform and his money to create a change about something that he's very passionate about. So I admire him for that. I admire people like Oprah who have overcome adversity in the entertainment industry, the industry that I'm in, and she's been able to build such a successful and wonderful career. And, I'm inspired by my mom because she's always such a level-headed and compassionate person, and I love her so much. So those are people that I'm inspired by. Who are you inspired by?
I just have one comment on that. The people that I'm most inspired by are songwriters because I think that it takes a lot to be honest emotionally, but it takes even more to be honest emotionally and sing all at once. So shout out to songwriters.
I like that one. Okay, so let's see. Barbara Prescott. Oh, this is more sports news. And I don't know if you've been paying attention to this, Courtney, but she says, how do you feel about Drew Brees' apology? Did you hear about what happened with Drew Brees?
Devyn, this is a sports person?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So he's a quarterback for the Saints, and he, in the middle of all of everything that's going on, decided to come out and say that he doesn't condone the disrespect of the flag, speaking in regards to what Colin Kaepernick did when he kneeled during the national anthem to protest police brutality in 2016. And then he just caught so much heat for that. I mean, we had LeBron James speaking out against him. We had his own teammates unfollowing him on social media. Like, people were really, really angry. He issued an apology. I did not like his apology. I think he said things in that apology that were bizarre and totally off base. So Barbara, to answer your question, I don't think it was a good apology at all. But we need action again. So you could say sorry all you want, but you need action.
Absolutely.
Alicia,
let's get out of Devyn.
Oh,
let's get out of here. We gotta get out of here.
Alrighty, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on this Friday. It's been fun. It's been an iconic and legendary week. Do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to share. And of course, thank you for being an iconic and legendary T-Tribe member. Is there anything else that you would like to add, Devyn, Howard, before I roll on out of the studio, girl?
Wash your hands, have a safe weekend, and we'll see you guys on Monday at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for another episode of The Morning Tea. Bye, guys.
Bye. Now wash your hands, Leo. You better wash your hands. And you better wash your hands. Wash your hands. And you better wash your hands. Scrub your hands. Scrub your hands. And you better scrub your hands. Scrub your hands. Scrub your